Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Badass Confidence Coach. Today, Tim and I are talking about toleration. What is it that you are tolerating in your life and how to take a deeper dive look at that and make changes as you need to. So this is about what you're accepting or you're allowing people to either do, be, act towards you, and then how you can be tolerant of other people in the world around you. So it's what we are tolerant of and how you can be more tolerant of the people in your orbit, the people just even psychologically in your world, whether it be something you see on the news or you're watching on social media. Toleration. And this has come up because I've been having, if you've been listening to the podcast for a while, you know that I take a lot of my conversations with clients and I bring them to all of you, especially when there's themes, especially when I'm starting to notice I'm having this conversation now for the third time this week, the fourth time this week. Sometimes I'm like, seriously look up the sky, like, what's going on right now? Like, why is this happening? You know, it's always interesting to me. So it's like ding, 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 ding in my mind, write this down. This is an issue for people. And this is a great topic for the podcast.
Yeah. I mean, trends are always interesting.
But
they get your attention.
Trends, yeah, but these aren't trends. These are people's lives. These are conversations I'm having. And is it I'm the common denominator? Possibly it could be that. I'm having these conversations with my therapy clients as well as coaching clients. And there's something that's going on in each of those nuanced conversations where I'm saying to them, yeah, but you're tolerating that. Or why are you tolerating that? Because it's usually about a complaint, something that's hard for them, something that's a pain point for them in their life, or it's someone who's irritating to them. They just can't figure it out. And I will often say, which I have in the past couple of weeks, you're tolerating that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Okay. Maybe they haven't thought of it in that way, using the term tolerate. And when I say it, they go, yeah, okay.
I kind of am.
Yeah. So as always, if I'm having those conversations with people in my practice, then I would bet you all are having these similar life experiences as well.
Yeah.
So we're going to unpack it. We're going to talk about what you're tolerating, why you do it, and how to get out of it.
This one I'm going to find a bit interesting because I think some of this depends on how wide we go with this conversation. Some of this could be maybe lumped into like, well, that's the way the world is managing this particular thing right now. And we all are affected by it in a certain way.
Yeah. And that's at the macro level.
Yeah.
On the larger level. We'll talk about that a little bit. We're not going to have time to really do a serious deep dive into that aspect of toleration. We'll run out of time, but I'll touch upon it. You may know this, but Tim doesn't know what we're talking about before we start recording. I tell him literally before he presses start the record button.
About 3 minutes ago.
He has no idea.
But that's
you have no idea. It's good.
It's intentional, and I like it that way because that way it's like I'm like the voice of the listener.
Yes, and you're not a mental health person. You've been a sports coach, but you're not a life coach. You're not mental health. It's not your specialty. You're interested in it, but it's mine. Yeah. And whether it be therapy or coaching, it's all mental health, mental wellness. And I'm working on this all during the week before this episode. And you have no idea what I'm doing. You may know I'm working on the podcast, or I'm taking notes, but you have no idea what we're talking about. Just so you all know. Okay. So here's one thing for you all to remember is that you're teaching others, even in your silence, that every behavior that you're tolerating in your life, tolerating with yourself or from others in your life, this is a lesson to yourself and to others about what you are allowing. So that's really important. This is what it's all about. What are you tolerating? What are you allowing in your life? Okay, so we're going to get real honest about it here today, about the habits that you're engaging in or that you know you ought to be engaging in and you're not, the patterns in your life, and the relationships that quietly just drain us. That's the kind of tolerance that if we don't take care of that and we don't become mindful of it and take care of it, it's going to grow.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So before we get started, please don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast with 5 stars. I've been podcasting for 5.5 years now. It'll be 6 years in January of 2026. And it makes all the difference in the world for you all to seriously just scroll down on your phone and press that 5-star button and write 1 or 2 sentences about this podcast. If you have found it to be of any value, any of the episodes, please write a review. I don't make any money from this podcast. This is just a labor of love. There's no sponsors. There's nothing. I don't make a dime from the podcast. What will help me and what you all can do to give back to me is to write a review. Okay, that's really important. And number 2, if you want to work with me, reach out to me. Okay, for coaching, get on a discovery call with me. hello@annamarcolin.com and let's talk and let's see if I'd be a good fit for you. I've been doing this for 25 years. So I am the real deal. I know what I'm talking about, and I can help you get to that better place in your life where you want to be. I work with a lot of people on overwhelm, relationship issues, work issues, and I would be happy to have them and they would speak to you. I have references, and a lot of people don't offer that. I'm offering that because the proof is in the pudding. Talk to my former coaching and therapy clients. They'll tell you how I am. They'll tell you how I show up. Okay. So just want to throw that out there too. So if you want coaching, if you want a therapist and you're in the state of Illinois, reach out to me. Okay.
Cool.
All right. So let's define what is it when we tolerate people. What is a toleration? So it's the leaks, the toleration in your life. It's the leaks. Okay. It's the behaviors. It's your thoughts, the clutter in your mind, that mental load clutter. It's the relationships and the boundaries that you're putting up with that are taking away your energy. Okay. So it's all the stuff in your life that you're putting up with that's sucking the life energy out of you. All right. So here's the muscle of tolerance. Here's the good stuff. It's the openness. It's also the acceptance of others. It's the equanimity. It's the ability to let others exist without needing them to be you. That's what you were talking about, Tim, earlier. And that's the macro level, which we won't have time to get into. But that's tolerating others and being open to others' opinions, thoughts, beliefs, which has completely been broken down, I think, by the media in this country. That's you and I at the micro level in the everyday with people in our neighborhood, with people in the grocery store, with people at work. You're tolerating people, and you all are doing this too. And that's why I think about what the media is doing to all of us, because we think, oh, they're bad. We lump people in these categories of Republicans are stupid, Democrats are stupid, Republicans are bad, Democrats are bad. Whatever it is, the familiar trope that we hear almost on the daily. If you watch the news, you're going to hear this all the time. And all the talking heads ripping on people from the other party. They're not tolerating each other. They're not open to one another. They don't have equanimity. They don't have acceptance of another people's thoughts, opinions, because nobody's listening long enough to listen to what the other person is saying.
There you go.
If we listened long enough, we'd be like, okay, well, all right, you make a point there. But no one's willing to do that. Even in my own family, it's like amazing to me, my siblings. It's rare that someone will say, okay, you got a point there. I get that.
Yeah.
I understand that. I disagree on this, but I understand that. We are not tolerating each other. So sometimes it isn't family. With my family, it's politics. Other families, many families, it's politics, but other families, maybe it's religion or maybe it's just habits that people are into that other people in the family don't want to hear about. You all can think about how this shows up in your life on a larger scale. But what I really want to focus on today is the personal coaching of you, the person of you and what you're tolerating in your life, because this is your mental wellness. All right. So that's, yes, I do think that we need to have more of a sense of openness and acceptance of others and the ability to let other people exist. And they don't have to be me. You be you, boo. You do you. And I will still accept you that way and be curious about you and want to get to know you, knowing that we are so very different.
Right. That's why I asked that question.
Yeah, I know.
Because I think that, and I think it does go down to the micro level also. I think because of when we are, that everybody has this self-given right to have this big voice in the world. And so you've become less tolerant of waiting to talk and more apt to share your opinion, go out there, disagree, and then it gets ugly. But I think like that's in there for most people.
Right.
Right. And I think that drives like, so that then you take it down to the micro level. It's like, okay, that's your relationships with your family, your spouse, your coworkers, right? You're not as apt to listen, but you always want to be like giving your opinion, showing that I'm right.
That's
right?
most, I would say that is probably most people today.
Yeah, exactly.
We've lost the art of listening.
Yeah. Yeah.
And considering that somebody else can have an opinion that's different from mine.
Right. And being
that we
okay
don't
with it.
then go into some sort of character assassination
Yes.
or think of them as air quote less than because they don't agree with me.
Right.
Or they don't know what they're talking about. Or we just go, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a problem on a large scale. Yeah. Okay. So how can you, if you were curious about this whole issue about toleration and tolerance in your life, how can you change? And how can you work on you? So I always say we have to start with ourselves. You need to start with you. We can't change other people. People, for the most part, and this is my belief, my philosophical belief, having done this been in practice for 30 years, having conversations, listening to people. I don't think people really change. There's got to be something in their life. There's got to be a fire under their butt that really has people changing. I'd say 80% of the time, people are not changing. 20% of, I'm not talking about my professional practice, I have seen people change. It's usually because of an impending divorce coming up, or realizing, okay, my marriage really is a mess and my wife's about to leave me, or my husband's out the door. Some individuals are able to take stock of that and reflect on, what is it that I'm doing here? How have I contributed to this problem? This is a rare thing, but I have seen it. And it's wonderful when you see it. It's always that question of, how am I contributing to this? How am I the common denominator? So this is true personal development, this episode about toleration. I can go on and on about this, but let's get going. All right. So number one, if you're going to look at yourself and you want to look at your own issues, let's start with looking at the leaks in your toleration. Okay. So number one, we're going to look at your behavior. So here's some questions for you. Okay. So if you're driving, walking your dog, cleaning the house, just listen to this. And then if you want, go back and listen to it again with your laptop, your notes app, or a piece of paper and a pen, and write this down. All right. Just some good coaching questions for you. Are you procrastinating hard conversations in your life? These are your behaviors, okay? These are some examples. Procrastinating hard conversations. Are you overcommitting? Are you people pleasing? Are you rescuing others? Okay, you're tolerating all this. You're allowing all this in. We talked about last week. Are you revenge bedtime scrolling? So we did a whole episode on revenge bedtime procrastination. Are you up late at night scrolling mindlessly on your phone? Are you numbing? Are you numbing yourself out with your mindless scrolling on your phone late at night when you know you need to be sleeping? Or are you numbing out through lots of cannabis, gummies, smoking a lot of weed, drinking? That's a form of numbing for many, many people. It's a self-medication. Are you disorganized? You know you're disorganized. You know, I got to change this. I got to change this. And you're not. You're tolerating that. Okay, these are behaviors. Number two, we're going to go into your thoughts. What are you tolerating with your thought? Are you someone who catastrophizes situations? I just had a whole big, long conversation with a client yesterday who's a catastrophizer, and I've been seeing her for years, and we go back to every now and then we have to have a whole conversation around that thought. It's a thought distortion, actually. All right, you're catastrophizing here. Let's break this down. So are you a catastrophizer? Oh my God, the world is coming apart. The sky is falling. The sky is falling. All right. That's not a helpful thought. But do you,
True.
And you know it, and you continue to do it, right?
Yeah.
Do you have harsh self-talk? Are you tolerating this really mean self-talk to yourself? No one knows it. You're living in your own head with ripping on yourself. Or do you do the, I'll deal with it later. I'll just deal with it later. I'll deal with it later. Okay, you're tolerating that. You'll deal with it later? When are you going to deal with it? You're procrastinating thoughts in your mind or issues in your life that you're not actually dealing with them. You're tolerating it, okay? All right, so let's go back to behaviors for a second. So here's the prompt. Behaviors or actions? What do your current behaviors or actions say about your values? Big question there. Write this down. What are your current actions or behaviors saying about your values? All right, let's go back to thoughts. Here's the next question. Would you let someone talk to your best friend the way you just spoke to yourself? You and your best friend are together. There's a third person there. Just spoke nasty to your friend. Would you let that happen? Or would you speak up? If you were the ride or die and you were like, no, that's not right. I hope you would speak up.
Yeah.
Would you let someone speak really nasty to a little 6 or 7-year-old little kid? You'd probably be like, hey, wait, no. Okay, because you're not going to tolerate that. You won't tolerate that. You're not going to tolerate somebody in a restaurant or bar or a parking lot of a Walmart saying something nasty to your friend. Hey, wait a minute. Who are you? Hey, wait, buddy. Who are you, lady? You're going to speak up.
Yeah.
But you tolerate it for yourself. Okay. So I asked you the question about your behaviors. I asked you the question about your thoughts. Now let's go into patterns in your life. This is what you're tolerating, these patterns. You say yes to all the things when you really mean no. And we've talked about this many, many times in the podcast. You say yes when you really mean no. You're choosing your short-term comfort over long-term clarity. You're in a pattern of continuing to not work out, continuing to drink alcohol every single damn night, continuing to be living in your head and be stressed out about this and that, your marriage, your kids, your work, finances, your relationship with your mom, your mother-in-law. So you're continuing, but then you don't do anything about it. You're actively inactive. You're actively not making a decision to go and work with someone, whether it be serious mental health issues. You're choosing and you're tolerating your clinical depression rather than going and seeing a therapist and possibly getting a consult with a psychiatrist to get on meds and start psychotherapy. You're actively choosing to be inactive when you know you need coaching around something. You know you need another opinion. You know you need someone who knows more than you to help you through it, because we can't often see ourselves through our lives. We are subjective about our lives. We need an objective outside person to come in and look and say, hey, listen, you're not thinking about this the way I think you ought to be. Well, really? Why? What do you mean? Well, here's what I see. Oh, okay. If you're open to it, I'm always going to say this, get coaching, but vet those people, vet the coaches. There's terrible coaches out there and there's amazing coaches out there. You got to vet them though. Okay, so that's the patterns, all right? So here's the question around your patterns. Where does this pattern show up across my job, across my friendships, and my partner? Are there patterns in my life of the way I'm behaving that shows up? Am I doing the same thing? By saying yes to everyone at work, I'm going to lead this group. I'll, take on this project when I really don't have time. I've got so much on my plate right now, but yeah, I'll do it. I don't want to be the one to walk the dog every night. I'm exhausted, but my partner doesn't want to because he's tired. So I do it. I don't want to, but I do it. Those are patterns of you tolerating something. So I'm not going to say for you what it is you're tolerating. You think about what are you tolerating? But inside you're getting pissed off and resentful and you're just embroiling yourself.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm thinking about, as you're talking, I'm thinking about like scenarios at work, right? Like, so you're being tolerant of, let's say, things that negatively impact culture at work. And should you at some point, when should you?
Well, take out should, because should's a thought distortion as well, Tim. So this is a nugget for all of you. Take out the word should and put in the word choose. So that's a massive nugget I just shared with you that I share with everybody that's a client of mine.
Yeah.
Take out the word should and put in the word choose. Say that sentence and it's going to sound real different to you right now.
Choose. When should I choose to say something?
There you go.
Like at what point, like how much of this do
should I say something? You totally flipped it and you said, when do I choose? So you're going to do something.
Yeah.
It's just when.
Yeah.
There you go.
And that's what I mean. I meant to say, that's what I was like trying to say, I guess, but I didn't say it properly. But like choosing when to say something, like what's the limit? How much of that do you allow to go on before it's like, okay, hold on a second. We need to talk about this.
Right.
Because that is affecting not only yourself, maybe not just yourself and me, but the entire team now is being affected by this or that.
Right, exactly.
Or if you see somebody saying something like you said before, like say something to a little kid or a patron and it just doesn't feel right, doesn't sound right, and it's not appropriate. And it's like, wait.
That's,
you can't,
no, we're not doing that. We're not.
You cannot
we don't talk that way. Exactly.
Way.
So you have the non-negotiables in your life at work you're talking about. We have the non-negotiables of wait, that's not going to happen. And I'm not going to tolerate that. And I will speak up about that. Wonderful. There are times, and this is just all like, I'm not speaking in I am speaking in generalities, but what I would say to all of you is that, yes, there are times in your life when you are going to tolerate something you don't like. And we all do every single day. There are times in our lives daily where we have to tolerate something. And like we talk about raising the kids. We had all the kids at home here, 5 kids. And you would say all the time, and I would say it because I loved it, sometimes you got to take one for the team. The kids didn't want to have to tolerate whatever it might be with each other that they were annoyed by. And you would say, take one for the team. Yes, there are times at work and in our personal lives, we got to take one for the team. oh, we can barely tolerate it, but
Right.
we tolerate it.
You do.
Because we got to think about the other 6 people in my family. I don't want to go and do this weekend with my extended family because I really have had a crazy week and I would really like to just sit in my house and do nothing all weekend. But instead, I have to go to this family reunion thing and I don't even like all these family members. It's like, all right, well, I know you don't want to tolerate it. Do you need to tolerate that?
Yeah.
Do you need to take one for the team and go because it's kind of one of those things in life you feel like it's an obligatory, but you got to do it? Or can you cut the trip maybe short, show up, go, but not stay the whole time? Or is it, no, I absolutely cannot do it. I am fried. I am going to say something to that family member that I can't. I'm going to say something. I'm going to make a scene, or I'm worried I might drink too much. It's not good. It's good for me to not go. Or they're a big drinking family and I'm living a sober life. That's not good for me. I cannot tolerate those behavior and alcohol and possible addictions in my extended family. Okay, that's your answer. You won't tolerate that. So all of you, it's a case by case basis. For some of you, it's like, okay, you would say to me, Anna, come on, you got to take one for the team. Just go for a little bit, like, all right, I'll go for a little bit, but we're leaving at this point. That's how I am able to negotiate it in my mind because there's abusive behaviors that I have seen, verbal abuse that I cannot tolerate and won't tolerate, and I don't. So I leave or I don't go. Right. So all of you has to think about this in your personal and your professional lives in a way that works for you. Okay. And I think mostly women, tolerate a ton of stuff they shouldn't be tolerating. Men don't, by and large, as much as women do. Women put up with so much crap. We do. Yeah. So we talked about your behaviors, your thoughts, your patterns around what it is that those toleration leaks in your life. And why do we tolerate? Why do we do this? Why do all of us tolerate this? We know it's like annoying, exasperating. It doesn't bring us any peace or pleasure. Why are we doing it? Well, number one, comfort. There's familiar chaos in our lives that feels safer than unfamiliar peace. And do I see this in my practice? People say to me, Anna, I'd rather deal with the devil I know versus the devil I don't know. So we got to work on that. How much you really want to work on this in your life. How much you really want to make this change. Remember what I said in the beginning, that most people don't make changes in their lives? We say we want it, and it's hard for us then to operationalize it and do it. So think about that, the comfort. I'm used to this chaos. I know this chaos. I know this dysfunction. I know this pathology. I know these people are crazy. I know these people are pathologically narcissistic and she's a borderline personality. I know that. You're tolerating it. I listen to my clients. Yeah, that probably sounds like, I don't know because they're not my client. I've never diagnosed them. Yeah, sounds like there's borderline features. And that it's really, really hard to be around that mother or that sister or that sister-in-law or that aunt or that father-in-law, whatever, who's a borderline. You're tolerating it. What are your boundaries? Okay, so there's comfort though. Well, it's just easier. I mean, it's a pain for 2 or 3 hours, but it's easier. There's comfort there. Okay, so that's why you're tolerating it. Belonging. Another reason why we tolerate this. Belonging. It's our ego. I'd rather be liked than be clear about what my boundaries are in my life. I'd rather be liked. So many of us feel that way.
Yeah.
I don't want to make waves. I don't want to stir anything up. I want you to like me. That's my ego. It's important that people like me. I want you to like me. That's all about us. That's all about me. That's all about you. I want to be liked.
When you're talking to a client about this, are there times where it's like, okay, it's scenario by scenario for you?
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Are there other times where it's just like, you know what? Throw the scenarios out the window for a second. This is about you becoming bigger, better, stronger, faster. Being able to deal with this. Maybe on a normal day, I would not coach you to like deal with this one, but I think this is going to make you stronger on the opposite end of this. So let's go for it. Do you coach them that way?
On a normal day, I coach about that all the time.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So it's not necessarily about the actual.
That's fundamental to how I coach.
Yeah. But so it's not always about what it is. Sometimes it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's a culture thing or it's a relationship
thing.
As
a coach, as a therapist too, I'm looking at patterns. So I'm the outside person looking at your life. I'm the objective person looking at you in your life. And as you get to know you, we have these conversations. I hear the patterns that you don't see. And my job is to bring them out. There are patterns here. You said this last week. I noticed several sessions back, you mentioned this. And now you're talking about this. These are patterns. And like, oh yeah, you're right. That's what people pay me for. You're paying me to pay attention to you and your life and to give you that bird's eye view of, hey, I've noticed this. Let's talk about it. I bring it to the surface and then we have a conversation around it.
Yeah.
Is that something you want to work on? Is that something you want to change? Yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
It's fundamental to what I do.
Okay. Because I think sometimes
that's what people, they're like, well, that's why I'm paying you the big bucks. That's why I'm giving you this. That's why I'm paying you, Anna. This is the service you're paying for.
Yeah. No, so
I'm curious why you don't know that.
Well, because if, let's say, like, okay, we're going to set the boundaries here for this person in this scenario, that there would sort of normally be the range of where I would let this person go to deal with this thing. But in this case,
talking about my client now speaking to me about someone in their life.
Yeah.
So
and normally you'd be like, all right, I'm going to keep you within the rails, right? Like I would because of the scenario. But this time I'm not going to, because this time I'm going to use this as a lesson for you to become better.
Okay. So we go out, we come in, we go out, we come in. So for all of my clients, my job is to look at their life on a broader view, on the large scale, and that those are the macro conversations that I have with them about their lives and what I see as I get to know them. And then every session, we will talk about something that's micro because they're showing up when they first start with me. We do a check-in. How are you? What's happening this week? What's been happening? What's been happening this past month? Most people are with me every week. Every now and then, people will go to twice a month. I have some coaching clients and therapy clients who I see maybe once a month, but those are people doing real, real well. And they just like emailing me, hey, Anna, can I do a check-in? I need a checkup. I need to tune up with you. Those are not people who are on my regular schedule. And, there usually is a real problem they're having, or they're in a little bit of a mini crisis. Many of those people will actually be like, oh shit, I actually need to come back to coaching because this is not just a one-off session. So for my people that I'm talking to every week, we start off with a check-in. So this is how my sessions go. How are you? Start with where the client's at always. And then we will talk about the big themes and patterns in their lives. But my job is to focus on, let's look at that conversation with that boss of yours. And we get into the micro. Yeah. And I help them take that apart and look at it. Yeah. And I'll coach them up on, this is what your next steps are. They love that. I mean, I love it. My coaches have done that with me. These are next steps. Okay, you get clarity. It's about clarity. I can help them with the clarity that they can't do on their own. Yeah. That's what's so amazing about coaching. Yeah. Like, I would never have thought of it like that. Yeah. Are you saying when this happens, that's what you do and this is why, and here's where you're stuck? Oh, I didn't make that connection before. Yeah. I think that's helpful because, that's the question. If you deal with this, does that make you a better person to deal with it all the time? Clients will say all the time to me, asking questions, and they go, oh, that's a really good question. Because I'm really delving into them and their life and how they think. We're going into the conscious, but I'm going into the subconscious. What's driving you here? And asking all kinds of questions underneath, like what's driving you here? Like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, I haven't thought about it like that. Yeah. Like yesterday was a full day of coaching, and several of my clients, it led back to some real big questions in their lives. And I said to them, listen, this is a rhetorical question, because they just kind of sat back in their chair like, I don't know the answer. Yeah, this is a rhetorical question. I'm writing it down. I'm putting it in your notes because I share my notes with them or in their action steps. I want you to take this week and think about this question and just mull it over, be with it, journal about it, go for a walk about it, process this with another person in your life about it. Spend time with this question. You don't have to have the answer right now, but those are pivotal moments where usually the client is hitting on something real big that they haven't really consciously gone through before. That really is the beauty and the gift and the art. There's science, the art and science of coaching. Yeah. Which I love. Okay. Yeah. All right. So why are we tolerating? All right. So your comfort level, you're used to this chaos is familiar to you. Your ego, you'd rather be liked than be clear with people, have clarity and set boundaries. You're going off of old scripts, which many of us old scripts. Many of them come from our family of origin. The rules are, we don't make waves. We don't make waves in this family. You don't make waves. Be nice. Be nice. I tell you all the time, Tim, we were talking about yesterday, we were walking the dogs. My mom used to always say to me, Anna, act like a lady. And when I was a pushback kind of kid, I'm like, well, I'm not a lady. Whether it be like I'd be burping, I'd drink my Diet Coke and
Nice.
belch really loud. I know. I was a total tomboy for many years.
This is all shocking news.
No, it's not. And if you know me, you know. I mean, all the time. Like she'd be, Anna, act like a lady. My mother wanted us. She was English. She would just cringe at some of the ways I talked and behaved. And I was like, oh, no, I'm not a lady. I'm not going to act like a lady. But there were times it did show up as I got older where it was act like a lady, be nice. And I did, which is interesting, as a teenager and at home with my family, I could push back with my mom and dad and they would tolerate it. There you go again with toleration. At work, there were times I didn't want to tolerate things. I knew I ought not to tolerate it, but I didn't want to make waves because of my bosses. And I did, air quote, make nice and be nice when I knew something was wrong. When I saw colleagues fighting and talking about each other and running each other down, I knew it was wrong and I didn't want to make waves. And I still, to this day, I'm not proud of how I behaved, what I tolerated, what I allowed, when I knew it was wrong. Like I actually thought it was morally wrong. Some of the things I saw wrong, I just didn't say a word. And I'm an outspoken person. Man, did I shut up. So I tolerated that. And that's on me. That's on me for not saying anything. Okay. And our nervous system, number 4, why are we doing this? Our nervous system, avoidance of issues, problems, patterns, behaviors in our lives. It gives short-term relief to us and it reinforces the cycle. So our nervous system like short circuits. We don't want to say anything and it makes me feel better to not say anything. This is probably me back in my 20s. Short-term relief, because 20 minutes later, I was out of the office and up on one of the medical floors and done, out of there, out of that conversation, out of that milieu. And I'm on another floor and my nervous system's calm again. So many of us do that. All right. So here's one, why we're tolerating all this. I just shared it with you, but I want you to remember this. You're not broken. We're not broken. You have adapted. So we've all adapted based on the comfort level, the family of origin issues, our nervous system, we've adapted. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start to update that adaptation. We need to update it. We all need updates, right? Your computer updates, your phone updates. We need to update. And if you are looking for an update, reach out to me for coaching because I'll coach you on this. All right. And remember this, what you allow in your life becomes the lesson plan. Say that again. What you allow becomes the lesson plan. How you let others treat you, how safe it is to bring truth to you, how safe other people feel by bringing truth to you about you, your work, I don't know, your marriage or relationships, how much space you allow feelings to take up with others' feelings towards you, or more importantly, really you with yourself.
I was going to say, yeah, that's probably the tougher one.
Yeah, it is, right?
Yeah.
You're always teaching yourself something. And many of you are not even aware of this. Subconsciously, you're teaching yourself what you tolerate. You won't tolerate uncomfortable feelings. So you're like, la, 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 see no evil, speak no evil, hear no evil. Like, don't want to hear it, don't want to hear it. You're tolerating. You're not tolerating very, very much, actually. You have intolerance towards discomfort. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, this is such a pattern. You can go in any industry.
Direction with this.
Yeah. It's like dealing with something inside yourself and improving it so that the next time, because there will be a next time, right? There's going to be many next times. The next time you're going to be able to handle it way better.
So here's the thing about tolerance. Like you just said, Tim, you will have opportunities to practice this throughout your entire lifespan.
Yeah.
Throughout your whole life. If you live to be in your 80s or 90s, you're still going to be dealing with toleration of yourself and of others. Number 1, start with yourself. One thing I would say about when I say you're always teaching is I want you to go back to boundaries, which I like talk about boundaries all the time in my life. And you need to start to plug and play new boundaries in your life. All right. So that could be when we are no longer going to tolerate somebody taking advantage of us, using us, treating us with disrespect. We would say, no, that doesn't work for me. Here's what does. That doesn't work for me coming in at 7 a.m. when you know I don't start working until 8:30. Like you're thinking this yourself. They know I don't start working until 8:30, but they want to have a meeting at 7:30. No, that doesn't work for me. Here's what does. I can meet at 9. That's you setting a boundary because you know they know that you don't start working until 8:30, that you worked with them for 5 years. And now they want to have a 7 a.m. meeting because they want to leave at 3. Okay, no, doesn't work. Here's what does work.
Yeah.
Okay. That's you setting a boundary. You're not going to tolerate that any further. Okay. I'm available to talk to you. I'm totally available to talk to you. We got to calm this down. I want to talk to you. I'm interested in talking to you And I'm not going to do it while you're yelling. Let's try it again, maybe this afternoon. And I say this all the time when I've talked about in couples therapy, about how couples talk to each other. And it's from Gottman. It's about how you get into conflict resolution. I've talked about it here on other previous episodes on the podcast. It's the same with anybody else in your life. I want to talk to you about this, and I'm available to talk. Not right now because you're yelling. This is not going to go well. Let's talk tonight. Let's talk tomorrow. What time do you want to talk? 9 a.m. Can you do tomorrow at 9? Okay, we'll talk then. And that's so much better because you're telling the person you'll talk to them.
Right.
We will talk about this. So we will both get some resolve, but not right now because you're yelling and inside yourself, you're saying, I'm not tolerating this.
Yeah.
Not doing this anymore.
I mean, you're describing a solution-based approach where you come into it with, I'm not going to be an adversarial opponent to you. I'm going to come in with a solution. I'm going to present a solution that we both can agree on, and then let's deal with it that way.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Okay. Another one that I love is I've used this more with like my kids when they were younger, when they need help with schoolwork. I'll help you brainstorm ideas. I'm not going to fix it for you. I mean, I'm happy to talk with you and have a conversation, brainstorm ideas and brainstorm what you want to do, but I'm not available to fix it. And you can say this at work too. You can change the words. These are the words I'm using, but you can find ways to change those words around.
Sure.
I'm happy to support you. Yes, let's brainstorm together. And I can't fix this. You got to work on this. And you can, just the way I said it, you can find a really nice way to let the person know, here's my boundary. And that's your job. You got to make this right. You got to correct this. I'm not fixing it for you.
Yeah.
If you are a rescuer personality, this is going to be real hard for you because lots of people want to come in and just fix it and rescue it. And we get impatient. We're like, it's just easier if I get it done. I would caution you to not do that. Let them do it on their own. Brainstorm with them, though.
Yeah, because sometimes it's not even your place to fix it. It's your place to coach up, to help them get better, right? To be able to fix it.
Well, sometimes if we're busy and we're time crunched, we're like, I'll just do it myself. But remember, what we always hear growing up, like, it's easier to teach a kid how to fish than to give them the fish. Like, teach them how to fish. Don't rescue them. Don't fix it. Okay.
Well, it's not easier to teach them. It's the opposite. It's easier just to give them the fish, but don't do it that way. Yeah.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
You just give them the fish rather than
go.
like, I got to teach you how to fish.
Yeah. I hear you.
And then the next one, another boundary script for you is, I want connection with you. I love these conversations that I have with you. I enjoy this time together. I want to be more connected with you. I would say this is more with intimate partners or people in your family. So I also need you to not yell at me in order for me to feel respected and me to have this conversation and to feel connected with you. So I want this connection, but I need to have time to have a conversation with me for me to feel connected with you because you're like, yeah. You're half listening. You're on your phone. You're acting like a shiny ball. You have attention deficit. I need you to sit down and give me your undivided attention. That makes me feel seen, heard, and respected. I need that from you. And if you can't do it, we're not going to have a conversation. That's you no longer tolerating somebody being half-assed with you in a conversation. Okay? If you do that, good on you. I think it's great.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, the person you're probably speaking to about this is like, whoa, okay. Oh, I'll listen to that.
You got their attention. For sure.
Okay. And here's your self-talk upgrade. I love this. And I talk to clients about this all the time. So let's say you say to me, Tim, I was talking to you or talking about something I had to do that you asked me to do. And I was like annoyed. Maybe I was complaining to you and you're like, it's not that big of a deal, Anna. It's not that big of a deal. Calm down. Well, first of all, you never tell a woman to calm down. That's like the worst thing you could ever say. But let's say, and you wouldn't say that to me, but you might say to me, it's not that big of a deal. And here's the new script. If it drains me, if I'm talking about it, it's a big deal to me. And if you love me, if you care about me, respect me, then you will take that information and you'll take stock of that. Okay, it is a big deal for her. It isn't for me personally, but it is for her. And I got to listen to that.
Yeah. I mean, it's all about interpretation.
Right.
You can interpret something to be a massive deal. And I could be like, you know what? It's not all that.
I tease my one daughter, the oldest. She doesn't like me teasing her, but I do it as a form of affection. I'll tease her. And I would think at this point I would learn to not tease her so much, but I love her and I tease her about things. And I have to work on it and this is something that I have to work on because she gets really, I know you're laughing because we do tease her. And she gets so annoyed when we tease her. And she would basically say, like, stop doing that. It's a big deal for me. It bothers me. I'm more sensitive. I don't think it's funny, the things you say. So, and I have started to back away from, Tim, you was looking. Stop.
Because I know where you're going with this. It's funny. Go ahead.
Yeah, because she is telling me, this is my boundary. I don't want to tolerate your teasing, Mom. And I have begun to work on not teasing her so much. But for me, it is a love language. I tease the people I love.
Right.
We all tease each other.
Right.
We're like, yuck it up with each other. She just doesn't like that. She doesn't think that's funny. So that's what she's not tolerating. And I really respect her boundary and her lack of toleration with me.
Yeah.
And I have to work on that. And I am.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the alternative is to continue to think that she's going to change. Like all of a sudden she's going to be good with teasing. Right. And that's probably not going to happen. Yeah. Right. And that's
she just doesn't like it. And I get it. It's not how I roll. And there you go. It's how she rolls. And we have to respect that.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Another old script that I have you change is what people say, I don't want to be difficult. I don't want to be a pain in the ass. I don't want to be difficult. Here is the new script that have you think to yourself and say, clarity is kindness early on. Clarity is kindness. Okay. So you don't want to be difficult. Okay. Well, let that go. When you have clarity, that is when really that's how you show kindness to people. You're clear. You clearly show them, this is what I'm available for. This is what I'm not available for. Yeah. That's kindness.
Yeah.
Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, what you're saying is communication, right? Transparency.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The better you're at both of those things in these conversations, like it just changes all of things.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Big time.
Okay. So we're running out of time. This is a 2 to 3 hour talk that I give.
Could be.
I mean, this is.
Yeah.
And I'm cutting it short because we're
we
running
could
out
do
of time.
a part 2 if you were interested in doing that.
I don't want this to be too much for all of you. Let me know, email me or write the comments on YouTube, how you thought this episode was. I can certainly talk more about this. I'm going to leave you with one action step. There's lots I could give you, but I'm going to leave you with one. I want you to go now and I want you to list 10 things in your life that you're tolerating. So list 10 tolerations. Think about it. Maybe it's you're tolerating this insane inbox. Maybe you tolerate lateness in other people. Maybe you're tolerating your own self being chronically late. Okay, that's an issue there too. Maybe you have very messy boundaries with people. Or maybe you have messy boundaries with 1 or 2 people in your life that you're aware they're messy. Okay, you're tolerating that. All these tolerations. Maybe you're tolerating your inner critic. Your inner critic is a nasty, mean person to you. Well, you've been tolerating that all this time. I want you to go and I want you to pick one of those 10 that you listed. Okay, so spend some time making that list of 10 tolerations. I want you to pick one that's going to give you the highest energy return if and when you work on it. And say if, because not everybody will do this. But for those of you who are really going to do this homework, what's the highest energy return? Maybe it's, I'm going to stop with my inner critic. If I can stop that or work on not tolerating me being a jerk to myself, that's going to be the biggest return for me right now. Okay. And I want you to write in one sentence, the new standard. Inner critic. I'm going to work on that inner critic. In one sentence, I want you to write what you're no longer going to tolerate with that inner critic. Okay. I want you to write it out.
And you know what might be helpful too is that as you make your 10, you pick your one and you're in this if when debate. Look at the if first. If I work on this is my list of things that are going to be better for me.
Excellent.
So now I've said, okay, I've decided I'm not going to consider the if. It's the when. Right? For you?
That's excellent. That's really good. I love that. I wouldn't have said that, but hearing you say it, that's excellent. Okay. Yeah. So there you go, people. That's all I want you to do. Okay. So if you want to make changes, write down the 10, pick out the one that stands out the most that you could work on today. I want you to think about, or the highest energy return. And I want you to spend the next week really working on, let's say I use the example of the inner critic. Or let's say you are chronically late to things. I want you to spend the next week working on that, because that's got to change in your life, because your bosses are getting pissed. People are getting annoyed. Your doctor's annoyed. They're going to not see you because you came in 15 minutes late. Work on that. All right. And then I would love for you to email me and let me know how it goes. 2 weeks from now, email me and let me know how it goes. Okay. We're all tolerating things in our lives. All right. So this is personal development. This is what coaching is. It's about bettering yourself, one issue, one problem, one pattern, one behavior at a time. All right. This is the life work.
Love it.
Okay. All right, everybody. I hope that this was helpful. Please reach out. Please don't forget to rate, subscribe to the podcast, and reach out if you want coaching. Mad love. Have a good week.